This is the story of Gohan, as told by Darius the Green Angel. I wasn't gonna do this video, but then I was like, man, I gotta do it. Gohan is the son of the legendary Son Goku. After Goku defeated Piccolo Jr., he had a son with Chi Chi. His name was Gohan. He named him after his grandpa because he loved his grandpa. Goku named Gohan because he loved his grandpa. And then Gohan had the little hat with the four-star ball on it, and he was wearing that shit. And he was like, all right, that's me. You know, he's Gohan, and that's my son. And he's, fishing with me. They played games. Him and Goku would always run around and have fun and shit. Gohan is like 5 or 3 or 4 at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. He's like 5 years old. Chi Chi's like, hey, you guys gotta go meet Master Roshi for a reunion. You haven't seen each other in a while. And you have Gohan now. He's like, oh yeah, that's right. Goku's like, I have to, take him to meet Master Roshi and, Krillin and all them, who I haven't seen in a minute. And then they went to find him, right? Um, Went to the Kame house and that happened, right? But then tragedy struck, I guess. Gohan got taken by his uncle, Raditz, who he never knew existed. And neither did Goku. Goku found out that he was a Saiyan and that he was sent to Earth a long time ago to destroy it, but he basically assimilated to the culture of Earth and became an Earthling. Um, and he was like, that's not how we're supposed to be. You're weak now. Um, I'll take your son and I'll leave with him. Goku didn't like that and he went after his son. See, Gohan's in the ship that Raditz came in. And he's just there. He's like, oh no. Oh, what I'm doing? Oh no! Oh no! I need my dad's help. And then Goku, started getting his ass whooped by Raditz. You know, but then Gohan's energy sprung forward. His Saiyan blood. See, he's a half breed, similar to me, and he sprung forth. He sprung out of the fucking capsule, and he was like, "Leave my daddy!" Boom! And he fucking hit Raditz, and like that's the thing that some people missed about it. His power level went so high, it went above Goku and Piccolo's for a split second, and it pierced his fucking armor, and he was like actually like winded for a little bit. He was like, that brat fucking hit me in the chest and almost like knocked the fucking wind out of me, knocked me off my feet. Then Gohan got hit in the head, and he was like, he was knocked the fuck out because it was just a moment of, you know, his energy, his power level going like to like I don't know, like into the thousands and shit. Like theirs weren't in the thousands, but his did. Um, and Gohan then moved to on to doing oh man, what the fuck did he do? He became a Piccolo student, so he had to train in the mountains in the Badlands. So Gohan was always pampered by his mom and shit. He was like, I want to go home to my mom. This sucks. No food or anything. I hate this. He was crying because he's just a 6-year-old, 5-year-old boy. And he's like, I don't like this anymore. But he was still out there and shit. And Piccolo was like, okay, this boy is doing stuff that he, usually doesn't do. I shouldn't train him too hard. I'll get him some apples and, he'll have to eat the apples. He was eating the apples and then, but Piccolo knew he was powerful too because he before he started the training he tried to throw Gohan at a rock and then he destroyed it. But he left like a whole fucking like he reshaped the landscape basically with a blast and it was like powerful. And he was like, yes, this kid is like worth training to be a warrior, a Z fighter. And then he was training with Piccolo, but he looked up in the moon and he was like, oh shit, he turned it to Ozaru because see he had a tail too. And then Piccolo had to destroy the moon so Gohan wouldn't fucking go crazy. Um, then all those like months passed by, and Gohan is standing on business with the rest of the Z fighters. against the Saiyans. Gohan witnesses Tien, Chiaotzu, and Yamcha die. And then he's like, I have to fight now because everybody else is dead. And Piccolo's like, it's time for you to step up. And he's like, oh shit, they're hitting Nappa around like boom, 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 Krillin and Piccolo. They're like, Gohan, you gotta hit him. You gotta make sure you attack him. And Gohan got a little bit scared because it was his first like real fight. And they were like, we have to protect him and shit. Piccolo ended up dying for Gohan, and then Gohan was like, no, Piccolo, you're like my dad, or well, really like an older brother, because Piccolo is only a few years older than Gohan. And he's like, you're my friend, is what Piccolo told Gohan, and Gohan was like sad when Piccolo died, but he was still there, fighting against Nappa until Goku arrived. And when Goku arrived, Gohan was happy. But Nappa got destroyed by Vegeta, and Goku took Vegeta to the Badlands. And then they were, flying back somewhere else to get away. Because Goku was like, you need to stay away from this fight because me and this guy are like, powerful. This is gonna get like crazy. So they got out of there, but then eventually Gohan hears his dad screaming. He's like, yo, we gotta go back for my dad. And Krillin's like, all right, we'll do that. They darted over there, and at that point, Vegeta was in Ozaru state. He was a grade 8. He had crushed Goku's bones and left him on the fucking ground. He was trying to pull off a spirit bomb, was what Goku was trying to do. But before he could smash Goku even more, Gohan came in and kicked him like, boom. And then they're fighting him in his Ozaru state. Yashirobe comes up and cuts his tail, and then the Vegeta's in his regular Saiyan state, and he's upset because like now he can never have his tail back. He can never go into the Zara state again, and he was pissed. So he started fighting Gohan, and he was like fucking Gohan up a little bit, roughing him up, and then Goku gave the spirit bomb to Krillin, and Krillin threw it. But it missed, and then it bounced off Gohan. See, it bounced off Gohan because Gohan is a good guy, and it was intended to strike evil. And Vegeta was evil at that point, so it hit him, and then he was like all fucked up. Um, Gohan then turned into Ozaru state again, but then his tail got ripped off too, I think, and he was like he was done. He was just out. Then him and Krillin got on a ship and they went to Namek. When they got to Namek, as they were going there, they were training the line. Gohan and Krillin were doing mind training and shit. Attacking each other in the like ether space, basically. And after that, they like this training's over, and then they got off the ship. And Krillin advised Gohan. He said, "Drop your power level down to nothing. We're gonna like sneak up on these niggas and like have them shoot." So see, those guys from the Freezer Force had scouters and shit. So they're like, these life forms don't have anything. Then Gohan and Krillin go over there, flash over there, and boom, knock these niggas out with one fucking hit, basically. And they're like, what the fuck? I thought they were like excrement. You know. And then after that happened, uh, Gohan sensed Frieza's energy, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's powerful." They had to go find the Dragon Ball so Frieza couldn't get him. So they were traveling around Namek, and they hide because they followed Frieza, and they found that Frieza was in a village. They were after a Dragon Ball. They already accumulated 4 Dragon Balls, half of them, basically conquering the planet like they usually do. With the Freeze Force. Dodoria and Zarbon were there, and they basically killed the Namekians that were guarding that Dragon Ball in that village. Gohan got upset and started attacking the Dorio, boom, 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 with some key blasts, and then they had to flee and like, and then Krillin was like, "Why'd you do that?" And Gohan was like, "I didn't like the fact that they were fucking with those people. They didn't do anything wrong. They had to hide their power level again." Then they, left. They find it. Boy, Day. Then they knows about the Dragon Balls. He was a boy in the village and shit. And the elder was like, go on and live because you need to, since all of us are gonna get killed. And Dende was the one that lived from that village, and he was like, we have to find the Great Lord Elder. He can get you guys right. He can unlock your potential and give you a Zenkai boost. He said, okay, we'll go there, and we'll find that Dragon Ball too. See, Vegeta was on the move too, and he fought against Doria and Zarbon and all that extra stuff. Um, See, they were coming back. They went to the Dragon Ball. They went to the Grand Master's house. Nail was like, you're in the audience of the, Grand Master, the one who created the Dragon Balls here on Namek. And he was like, my child, step forward. Take this, take this Zenkai move. He touched Krillin's head, and Krillin was like, woo! He was like, I never felt this in my whole life. Then like Gohan got the Zenkai boost, and he was like even like he was on like par with like Goku when he was on Earth and shit when he got his Zenkai boost, because Vegeta came to that spot and they were like, he was like, I think I sense Kakarot. But it was actually Gohan coming out, and he was like, how did you get more powerful? He was like, we went to the Great Lord Elder and other things. But as that happened, another thing happened. The Ginyu Force showed up. When the Ginyu Force showed up, Gohan and Krillin started to fight Guldo, the weakest member of the Ginyu Force. However, they got trapped. Gohan got stopped. He couldn't move. See, Guldo had the ability to freeze time, and he did that. But Vegeta was there, and he decapitated him, defeated him. Um, And then he tried to fight against Vegeta. Tried to fight against Raccoon. They were just there watching because they were like, we can't even fucking hold against any of these guys. Like, we can't stand our ground. Not really. We can only buy time until Goku arrives. And see, that's what happened. Vegeta got defeated, and then they're like, oh shit, Vegeta's done. And then like Raccoon like basically broke Gohan's neck, but uh, uh thankfully for Gohan, Goku got there and had him eat the sensu bean, and he was able to like bounce back from shit. Oh, then Gohan, Krillin left because Goku was like, "I got these guys." He went. He got all the Dragon Balls at the Frieza Force area. Frieza Force gathered up the Dragon Balls. He said he found them and other things, and they found them. Goku comes back, but it ain't Goku. It's Ginyu. And he places the Destructive Axe on Gohan, and then Ginyu's like, Goku's like, hey man, that guy's Ginyu, that's not me. And he was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's why he's wearing a scouter and other things. And then they try to fight him and other things, and Goku gets his body back and other things, and he's in a recoup tank. Then they try to summon Porunga. Gohan says, revive Piccolo, the one they call Piccolo on Earth. And the Porunga summons Piccolo back uh, the dead, and he's alive again. And then the Earth Dragon Balls come back. Then he summons Piccolo to Namek, and he had Dente do that for him. Then Frieza shows up, and Vegeta's like, "Oh, I have to fight against Frieza a little bit." They're fighting against Frieza, and then he goes into a second state. When he goes into a second state, each of them try to, fight. Even Krillin got a nice, cut on Frieza's tail. Um, But Gohan got upset because Krillin got stabbed. He was oh fuck, you know. He started hitting him with a whole bunch of key blasts. Like, come on.
but it didn't do too much to Frieza. Frieza was like, "You're just that brat that won't, stop." How to dispose of you real quick. And Gohan was basically sidelined for a while. He was watching all the shit go down with Piccolo, and then Piccolo losing, and when Frieza went into his third form, and then the final form, um, Vegeta then tried to do shit, and they witnessed Vegeta lose, and then lose his life. And then Gohan was just watching his dad fight against Frieza. And then he saw that he made a super spirit bomb, dropped it on him, and it was like, okay, cool. That's over. They all thought it was all great. Then Frieza came out of the water and killed Krillin. And then Gohan witnessed his dad go into Super Saiyan. Um, at that point, Gohan saw his dad a different way. What I'm saying is his dad was serious and not playing games anymore. Not the fun loving dad that he knew. He was like, Gohan, you gotta get the fuck out of here now. Get Bulma and get the fuck out of here now. He said now. Like not fucking later, but now. And he's like, this shit's like not no game no more, like for real. And Gohan left. He grabbed Piccolo's body and he grabbed Bulma and he said, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And he got out of there. Gohan was on Earth for like a year before his dad showed up again. Gohan was like at this point like 9 or 10 years old, something like that. Gohan then sees his dad, right? He's like, oh shit. My dad finally returned to Earth. And that was after Trunks defeated Frieza. And he was wondering, like everybody else, who the fuck is that guy? He got a Super Saiyan, like my dad. Man, he was just there and other things. But then 3 years passed, and then the androids attacked. On the androids attack, Gohan's just there with everybody else, trying to, hold down against Dr. Gero, Android 20, and Android 19. But then Goku shows up. Goku tries to fight him, but then Goku can't. Then Vegeta fights against Android 19, defeats Android 19, and then they all try to like get to Dro's hideout to like dispose of 17 and 18. As Trunks came back in time and said, "Hey man, you gotta stop those niggas and stuff." They'll try to like destroy the future and shit. I've seen it and everything. And he was like, "All right." But Vegeta was like, "I kind of want to see what they do." And then they came out, and Android 18 did what she did to Vegeta, and then they were just like, we're going to find Goku, but we're gonna have fun as we like, fuck around and stuff. Since we're awake, they took a car and left, and then they were like, okay, Goku's still asleep, and then Goku woke up. Um, but during that time, Gohan and Trunks found a cocoon. See, this cocoon had the actual android in it, the true experiment of Dr. Dre and Cell. See, Cell was created to become the perfect android. By absorbing 17 and 18, he would become essentially the most perfect creation um, ever, ever designed by Jero's mind. And he was like, okay, this thing is like a cocoon, and it came out, and they found carcasses, well, really, um, like shells, old dead skin. I was so, and then Cell was going around all these places and absorbing like energy. Piccolo had a standoff with him, but they try to get to him, and Piccolo was like, you know what, this animal is like running around doing shit. At the end of the day, it's like even more dangerous than the other ones. We have to kill those other ones before he absorbs them. If he does, then we won't stand a chance. Gohan then is like, okay, invited by his dad to go into the hyperbolic time chamber for a day, a day's year's worth of training in a day by going into the hyperbolic time chamber. They went up to the lookout, but he said, Vegeta, you can go in there with your son first. As Vegeta was like, man, I need to go in there first because I need to defeat Cell. You already had your winnings. I need to get my winnings. And he was like, all right, fine. You know, he goes in there, and then Vegeta gets out. Then they go inside. Goku and Goku and Gohan go inside the hyperbolic time chamber. After that happened, though, um, Gohan, he's training harder than he ever had before. He understands the threat. Because at this point he's like 12, 13 years old, and he's like, "Oh my God, I understand that this is a fight. We're gonna be, in this shit for real." So they were doing that, right? They were fighting and other shit. Um, then Goku or Gohan then goes Super Saiyan in the hyperbolic time chamber. Shows his dad that. And they were like, he's like, "You're pushing yourself too hard. You gotta calm down and other things." But by the time they came out, Gohan was in Super Saiyan state, and he looked different. They were like, "Oh my God, that's Gohan. That's our boy. He's no different than his dad now. He has Super Saiyan form." They kept the Super Saiyan form on for 10 more days without powering down to base form. They optimized the Super Saiyan form and like basically essentially made it their base form for a little bit. Um, and they went fishing and other stuff. Goku was like, "Okay, we have to defeat Cell." It came time for the Cell games. This is where our boy Gohan really starts to shine and like shows he actually learned shit over these years of being a warrior and son of Goku. So Goku fights against Cell, and then he tries to pop off that instant transmission Kamehameha. It blew off the top of Cell, but then he forgot that he had recoup, bounce back the cells from Piccolo, and then he comes back, and then he's just like, "I can't beat him. And then everybody's like, "What's Goku's plan?" And he's like, "Hey, you're my plan, son. You go out there and whoop his ass. It's cool." And he's like, "Yep, that's what's gonna happen." And then they're all like, "Well, why are you sending him out there? He's still a boy. He could die out there, and you couldn't even defeat him." And it's like, "Yeah, but it'll be all right." Gohan starts getting his ass kicked in Super Saiyan state. Um, you know, so like crushes him and smashes his face in the ground and all kind of shit. Gohan couldn't do anything in that Super Saiyan state. But then Android 16 intervenes and it's like, "I'll take you to Kingdom Come with me. I'll blow your ass up." He's like, "Oh fuck no," but not really because he's like, "I'm good." He took care of Android 16. Android 16's head rolled over to Gohan, and he said, "Man, you gotta protect this world. I love this planet. You have to do it. Gohan, do it for everybody else." And then his head got smashed in right in front of Gohan, and Gohan was like, he got mad, he got pissed off, and that's when he ascended to Super Saiyan 2, the first person to do it. And after that, like it was a wrap. Like he took care of the Cell Juniors like real quick. Like everybody was having problems with him, even his dad Goku, and he was just like he made easy work of that shit. And he was, he made easy work of Cell too. But he was playing games. He was like, "I want to see you suffer." And he started hitting his stomach and punching him like bam, bam, bam. Cell tried to shoot a super Kamehameha. He shot one back, but he like fucked him up. Because his was more powerful. And Cell was like, his regen was even like not working as well. He hit him so hard in the stomach that he coughed up 18. Android 18 came out. He went back into imperfect Cell form. And when that happened, he was like, "Okay, well, I still have a surefire way to win. I'll blow up this planet. I'll self-destruct." And he was like, "I'll still win, bitches." And then Gohan was like, "Oh no, like I like kind of fucked up because I was like playing games too much. I could have like killed him, but I was like holding back because I wanted to see him suffer, and like I wanted to see him suffer as I was killing him, not just get the quick win and finish him off real quick." And he was like, "Yeah." Goku was like, "It's all right, son. I'm gonna take care of this, and I'm gonna flash him over here, and boom." And then Goku died, and then Gohan was like, "No, he's dead." And then, but they were like, "Okay, well, Goku took care of Cell then, right?" Cell's gray matter was still flying around in like the atmosphere, the universe and shit, right? And he absorbed some more Saiyan energy from Goku, and he learned instant transmission, and he popped down to Earth, and he was like, okay, I'm cool. And he like killed Trunks with the death beam, and then Vegeta got upset. Vegeta, then got in the way because he was too weak. Vegeta couldn't do anything to Cell. Um, and then Gohan was like, "Oh no, I have to protect Vegeta now." Um, Gohan essentially like broke his arm, protecting Vegeta, and Vegeta was like, "I'm sorry, I got in the way, but he killed my blood, he killed my son," and then he was like, "Yeah, he killed my dad too, so I have to like make sure that I like end this guy." And he was like, "All right." So pops off a solar Kamehameha, and then Gohan, hits off a Kamehameha of his own with one hand too, but he was holding back still because he thought he would destroy the world if he like went too hard. But Goku was like, he came there and he's like, "No, son, you have to like release your energy and other things. You were holding back. You can't do that no more. You have to like be the savior of the world. In my stead and shit." And then Gohan released that shit, and he defeated Cell. He defeated Cell, and then he was the champion of the world, basically the real one. Not Mr. Satan, but Mr. Satan got the credit. Gohan didn't care though. He remembered how his dad was, and he was like, as long as people get to like live and breathe, and the world was all right, that's all that mattered to him. He didn't need the hype or any of that extra shit. That was all he needed, and and he was like, my dad's in other world and shit, but it's all right. And then he grew up and he went to school, and he was still like playing games as a Saiyan. He wanted to fight against crime, so people saw the yellow hair and they were like, "Oh, that's the guy who fought against Cell all those years ago with the yellow hair." He was like, "Oh shit, I don't need people to know that I'm the guy who was fighting against Cell back then." So he was like, "Okay, I'll get a new suit," and he became Saiyan Man, and he started fighting against crime. He also taught a girl named Bedell, who would later become his wife, how to, fly and shoot key blasts and shit. Um, he also was training his little brother Goten too. And then, they got word that Goku was coming back for a day, and they were like all excited. They were like, "Oh shit, this is cool." It's been like 7 years or some shit like that, and they're like, "All right." Um, they went into the tournament, the World Martial Arts Tournament. Vegeta was like, "This is great. Now I get to show that I'm better than Kakarot." And Goku was like, "Yeah, I get to come back, fight, and see my sons and other things." Gohan was excited to see his dad. Goten never seen his dad before, but Gohan was like, it's been a while, and now I'm this and that. And they were in the tournament and shit. But Videl, his girlfriend, was getting fucked up by Bokovic. Bokovic was like fucking her up, like basically it's woman abuse is what happened there, like truly abuse. This bitch was like all bloody and she couldn't do shit. She almost died actually. Gohan got pissed and he ran into the stadium to save her. But then they went and they used his energy. They siphoned off his Super Saiyan 2 energy to get that back to Majin Buu. So see, they were trying to resurrect Majin Buu. They had M's on their forehead. See, they were controlled pawns of a wizard named Babidi. He was playing games and trying to revive the evil entity called Boo, a truly evil monster that likes to destroy planets and just wreak havoc across the galaxy. And he said, "Cool, we'll do that shit." And then Supreme Kai was like, "No, we can't let that happen. If we let that shit happen, not even I or any of you could stop him. He's doing extra stuff." And they're like, "Okay, we have to like stop this guy from like doing shit." Um, so him, Vegeta, Gohan, and Vegeta and Goku went to um, Babidi's hideout, and there, Gohan had to fight against Deborah. And he was fighting against Deborah. Deborah like stoned one of his hands. Well, almost did, but he took the glove off, and he was like, Gohan ended up like basically losing the match or something like that, but not really, and because he was still alive, and Vegeta got pissed. He was like, how dare you? You are saying you should not fucking be weak. You're weaker now than you were when you were a kid. Like you saved us before, but now you're fucking weak. And then he was like, "Well, calm down. We're still here and other things." But then that's when Bobby D took control of Vegeta, and then he went into Majin Vegeta mode, and he fought against Goku. Gohan was at their base still, and he was fighting against Bobby D and them, and then Majin Buu emerged. He was in Fat Buu form, and Gohan was trying to fight against him. After Supreme Kai couldn't do shit, and then he got sent he got sent packing too. Gohan got sent packing. But then the Supreme Kai used Kai Kai and got him to Supreme Kai's planet. They were all wondering what happened to Gohan. Did Gohan die or did he survive? And he survived. He was on King Kai, or not King Kai, Supreme Kai's planet, and he was training to wield the Z Sword. He was like, I see potential in you, Gohan. You can become, more powerful. And he was able to draw the Z Sword out of um, this material that's the strongest, the hardest in the universe. He pulled the Z Sword out, but it broke, releasing the Supreme Kai from the past, old Supreme Kai. And old Supreme Kai was like, "Hey, you freed me and shit. It's cool. Now I'm gonna be the one to unlock your potential." Gohan sat there for a while and just like let Supreme Kai do his like weird shit that he was doing. And Gotenks and Piccolo were fighting, Super Buu on Earth, and they were having problems. They needed help. Um, but then Gohan appeared again, and when he appeared again, it was like he was back. Like he was gonna be the one to like do some shit again, because he started like fucking up Super Blue, like boom, 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 hitting him with some like power attacks. He looked like he was in base form, but he was in Mystic Gohan form. He learned Supreme Kai's, key basically, a portion of it. He was more in tune with the universe and that type of energy, so he was better and more powerful then. And he was on par with Goten Super Saiyan 3, but then Boo took note of that and was like, you know what? I'll absorb Gotenks and Piccolo. And then, then Gohan was on the back foot. He was like, you're like smarter now because you absorbed them. If you didn't absorb them, we wouldn't be having this conversation about, you being actually more powerful than me. Then Gohan was waiting and trying to wait it out for Goku to get there, so he confused with his dad. But he got absorbed by Boo's gum, and then he like was absorbed, and then Buhan was there. He was inside of Majin Buu for a while, and then you know Goku got absorbed. When they went into Vegeta was playing games too much, and he got absorbed too. And then Vegeta and Goku were absorbed. They were in cocoons and shit inside of Buu, and they ripped him out. But when they ripped him out, Kid Buu emerged, and when Kid Buu emerged, he was like, "We're done. I'm destroying this planet. Then the next one. Then the next one." And they died, but then they got brought back to life with the Namekian Dragon Balls. Um, they didn't want Buu to go anywhere else, so Goku and Vegeta, powered up and other things, and that's when everybody was like, "Hey man, we got pitching our energy to Goku so we can stop this boy from destroying everything." And Gohan was one of the people who put his energy into it, of course. And then Goku defeated Buu, and then that was the end of it. Until another thing happened. A couple years later, Vidal's pregnant with Gohan's child, and damn, Gohan is on the ship, and then Beerus shows up, and he's like, why is Vegeta acting weird? Vegeta's usually not like this. He's very, cordial and very, he's acting like very subservient almost to this guy named Beerus. He's like, why is he acting nice and other things? And then Vegeta was like, you don't want to like make that guy angry because he's the god of destruction. And I've seen him before. He's like, oh shit, okay. Then Boo made him mad because he wouldn't let him eat the pudding, and he got mad.
Then everybody started fighting against him, but then Beerus was able to take down Gohan easily. Boom, he's easily defeated, like everybody else. But then Gohan put his energy into
the Super Saiyan God ritual, and his baby was in the Super Saiyan God ritual too. Um, they were used it and put Goku in the Super Saiyan God mode, and then he fought against Beerus. Beerus was still more powerful, but Beerus saw that they had the ability to want to fight, to want to like get better and fight for what they had. So he was like, you know what, this planet don't need to be destroyed because you actually care about your existence and other things. So I'll let you guys live. And the food's good too, so it's fine. And then he did that, and then the next thing that happened was the resurrection of Frieza. When Frieza got revived, he retreated for a little bit. See, he wanted to train a little bit to obtain a new form. But when he came back, he was in base form, and Gohan, tried to step on him. Um, Gohan like got almost killed, and when Frieza was in base form, um, and you're like, what the fuck? Gohan shouldn't be like this weak compared to Frieza, But they didn't know that Frieza trained for a while before coming back to Earth. And so that happened, and then Goku came back, gave Gohan a sense of being, and he was like, okay. And then he watched his dad fight against Frieza again and fight against that shit. So Gohan basically became a spectator because he had kids on the way and shit. He was like, all right, well, that's what I'll do. And then also he didn't really fight in anything until the Tournament of Power came around. When the Tournament of Power came around, they're like, okay, Gohan, you can't play games no more. We'll train. And he trained with Piccolo and, Goku a little bit. And, he trained back to being, his old fighting self. And they're like, okay, Gohan, you're like strong enough to go into the tournament and, make a difference for our team. You could probably knock some people off. And he was fighting against people. He fought against Despo. That's the main character I remember him fighting against. He had some help from Frieza though. He said he needed some help from him. Cause Frieza plays games and shit. And he's like, I ain't gonna like let you like fuck around and try to like knock me off just because you want to have fun fucking with me. Um, we're gonna work together and get this guy out of the way. Um, and he's like, all right. And Gohan was kind of like, for a little bit, he was like the team's like, we gotta work together to do this and do that. He kept people together and other things. But he eventually fell off, and he had to watch his dad fight against Jiren and other stuff. But then Gohan, he had his moment to shine in that movie. Remember? Hey, remember? Hey, young Mo. Yeah, Gohan. Oh shit. In that movie, y'all, you gotta calm the fuck down. Yo. So basically, let me tell you, okay, so Dr. Giro's grandson was like, okay, I want to create these androids and other shit. So, well, these androids, Alpha and Gamma, I think. Gamma 1, Gamma 2, and then Cell Max was in a chamber. Um, See, they were after his daughter for a little bit. Gohan caught wind of it and he was like, okay, I can't be a bookworm no more. I have to save my baby and shit. And he was like, all right, yeah. He was fucking around and, he was fighting against Gamma 1 or Gamma 2, I don't remember. But then Cell Max emerged. And they were like, oh shit, this is Cell Max. You know, more powerful than the Cell that we fought before. Um, Even Piccolo got an upgrade in energy. Um, See, Piccolo almost died, and the Gammas ended up fighting against Cell Max too because he was powerful. Um, but then he like go on rage forward like he did before, like very reminiscent of his time when he fought the first Cell, the real Cell, and he was like, I have to put this guy down. He used special beam cannon in Gohan Beast form. Boom, shot him in the head like, and broke his skull, and that's how he saved his daughter and the world again. And then they were like, Goku and Vegeta were like witnessing from other places and shit. Basically, this is implying and shit that he's on par with like Goku and Vegeta now. Again, and like some people speculate that he's actually stronger than them too with that form and shit. I don't know. I think he is. I think he might be personally, because it's like reminiscent of the time when he destroyed Cell, and then he was like the most powerful human then. But it'll probably go back to Goku being stronger than him and Vegeta being stronger than him. Because it just it's Dragon Ball Z fashion. Gohan won't be the strongest forever. The most powerful. But right there after that shit, yeah, they were like, yeah, this guy, because they were saying that he was stronger than Jiren, Mr. Cell Max. Um, and I don't know. For me, Cell Max was kind of like I don't know. I didn't like the design. It would have been cool if he had like another form, and then it was like a little bit of harder fight. But it was still alright, I guess. And then the animation in that movie was a little bit, I didn't like it too much. The Broly movie, the animation was cool. But that's the story of Gohan up until now. Dragon Ball Z still going on in the manga and stuff. That's Dragon Ball Super and stuff, y'all. I say cool. Yeah, cool, cool. But yeah, stay tuned for the next video and shit too, because that's the story of Gohan in almost its entirety.